This activity is called the Dutch square, and it can be utilized to do all kinds of tight movements with multiple players combining. Usually two players together. Sometimes you can do three, but you can set up almost virtually any pattern for the Dutch square to make this work. So the way this is going to work, we're going to have four players around the outside, and you can start with one ball. And in this passing pattern, initially to get them started, you could just say, "Hey, I want you to players stay outside these cones that are 10 yards apart, and just pass the ball, pass the ball, pass the ball, pass the ball. Go around a couple times, right? Easy." And then you adjust it. So then they're going to basically do a pass forward. This player number two, I lost that soccer ball behind that thing, will then pass back to player number one. At that point, player two is going to move up a little bit, and then player number one is going to pass the ball forward. So the ball will end up here. When that happens, then player number one will then come down and become the next player into space here. And the same thing will happen again. So player two now will pass the ball to three. Three will cast the ball back to player two. Three will move, and then the ball will continue here. And then player number two will end up coming player number three, and they'll rotate around, but they'll get several touches. Ideally, there'll be one touch per player. Excuse me, don't want to do that. Per pass, there'll be one touch passes back and forth within the movement. So we'll play this for a while, get the pattern going, get it down, and then if there's multiple squares, you have them compete. So you can basically say, okay, let's see who can get around the ball around the square as quick as we can in the next 90 seconds. And you can count, okay, hey, that group did 2.5, that group did 3.5. You can also then go around the opposite direction for a while and then play. And of course, you can always add in another ball. And so that you get two balls going, can we get the pattern going and get even more touches on this activity. So pretty easy. This is basically tightening in spaces compared to if you do bigger butterfly patterns, so that they have to work with like 5-yard passes back and forth in movement, mimicking moving through the midfield.